Hello and welcome to yet another Starcraft 2 replay. Today we have the Fruit Merchant duking it out against Cannonball here on the Lost Temple. The Fruit Merchant spawning as the yellow Zerg, and in the other corner we have Cannonball spawning as the teal Terran. As you guys might notice, the Fruit Merchant's name doesn't show up correctly on my Starcraft because it is a Korean written name, so it shows up as question marks, but I translated it and there came out the Fruit Merchant, so that's why I call him that way. Cannonball now going for the earlier Rex with Refinery combination. This will probably mean that he will go Reapers and try to get off a couple of drone kills and a bit early pressure. Overlord of the Fruit Merchant knowing that there is not a close air spawn. And here we have a spawning pool, looks like 13 pool, and a extractor going up for the Fruit Merchant. Like I said, Cannonball going for that fast tech lab on his barracks, while the SCV and the Overlord meet. Cannonball knows his opponent is probably here, because if he was here, his Overlord could never have made it all the way over there. And yes, Cannonball is producing Reapers. In the meanwhile, spawning pool going up, Queen goes in production, and another Overlord, because now Fruit Merchant is supply locked. First SCV scouting in the Fruit Merchant base before Fruit Merchant has any Zerglings out. Now Cannonball trying to distract those drones from putting up that fast expansion and putting quite a pressure on the Fruit Merchant. Oh, I'm sorry for targeting the wrong unit there. Cannonball just chilling out while the Fruit Merchant finally gets his early delayed expo. In the meanwhile, we have a factory coming up for Cannonball and Zergling speed being researched for the Fruit Merchant, so we are going to see probably some Reaper Hellion combo. Reapers going in, trying to snipe down some drones, got some hits on the Queen too, but making great use of this high ground advantage and the advantage that he can jump up and down. In the meanwhile, the factory, the barracks had made room for probably the factory for getting those probably siege tanks up early, and Cannonball going for a starport directly after. Did he get vision of this starport? He did see the starport coming up. In the meanwhile, this Queen defending this lone expansion, and all those Zerglings managing to get one of those Reapers down. As I said, the first siege tank and siege tech is coming up, while the first starport finishes for Cannonball. In the meanwhile, the hatchery is up for the Fruit Merchant, and he is trying to create more drones for this to get this expo to full saturation. Over here we have 3 Zerglings guarding this expo to make sure that the Fruit Merchant will stay in this economic advantage. One Hellion coming out, and those Zerglings just trying out this ramp. And meanwhile we have a medevac with a siege tank, SCV and 3 marines moving into the Zerg's base. There we see a spine crawler and a spire coming up. So we are going to see some mutilisks probably. Oh, that's strange. And now we have this siege tank with a couple of marines and an SCV on this high ground, creating some sort of a contain. This spine crawler feeling very, very lonely, just hopping back. Medevac trying to get some sight, see what's going on there, and in the meanwhile we have a drone moving out, and still those 3 Zerglings probably run away from this Viking earlier on. In the meanwhile we have a bunker going up for Cannonball on this high ground contain, and as you can see the flaming queens. A second spine crawler coming up, now trying to move those in position to get clear hits on this building barracks. Barracks finishing, just not able to snipe this down. Oh, but will he able to get the barracks down? Will he able to get it down? SCV dropping out of the medevac, just able to save this bunker. The first mutilisks are there, and Cannonball going for the armor weapons upgrade. Oh, sorry, was a bit distracted there. At the high ground contain, Cannonball's siege tank is shooting on while those mutilisks engage. 1 for 1, those mutilisks get taken down. They almost take down this siege tank, but just 4 HP remains, and that last mutilisk is able to finish off the siege tank for his own cost. Overlord's now getting run away all over the map by Terran forces, while the fruit merchant is grabbing 2 expansions. So while he's being contained on this side, he's just bulking up units over here, immediately trying to saturate this expansion, but he is still upside down from all those overlords who got killed. Another spine crawler moving in, trying to snipe down and being successful sniping down that Reaper. Vikings killing overlords. A small battle between Hellions and Zerglings going on over here on the map. I'm sorry, I've missed that. And a bigger troop of Zerglings moving in, while this contain is just being silent here. Please stay tuned and come back for part 2 of this replay.